It's just been a mess on the injury front for the Oklahoma Sooners. We're going to talk keys to the game in this one coming up next. Who's got the edge? Where do they? We'll find out coming up.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Jay, what's the key to the game for the Oklahoma Sooners?
Getting pressure on the Auburn quarterbacks, right? Keep the run defense going the way that it's been. We're literally leaning on this defense now, 95%. I love Michael Hawkins. He's a freshman quarterback. He's also a freshman quarterback. So for us, it's going to be all about getting pressure and causing more turnovers, right? I mean, Zach mentioned Auburn's one of the biggest problems has been turning over the ball. One of the best things that Oklahoma's done is turning over the ball, right? We've caused a lot of turnovers. I think we're -7. We're +7 in the turnover margins. We've recovered 8 fumbles this season, number 1 in the country. And it's not been like just punch outs, right? It's been a lot of just hard hits and a ball flying out. We're not ripping the ball. We're hitting really, really hard and hitting at the right point. So since that's the case, that's what Oklahoma's going to have to do in order to be successful. Get Michael Hawkins a lot of short yardage and go from there.
Yeah, I think getting Michael Hawkins in a rhythm early is going to be really, really key. Going into Jordan-Hare Stadium.
There it is.
Whip a bunch over all of my different pronunciations of it, and I apologize.
Jordan-Hare, that's it.
I'm working on it, okay? Jordan-Hare Stadium. You heard? That's going to be a key factor. But I think, listen, Auburn has got a tough defense. Where does it start up front? What's the key to the game for Auburn, Zach?
Yeah, the key to the Auburn, big picture, it's turnovers. Like, try to fix you've been plagued with just turning the ball over at an incredible rate. So you've got to fix that. As far as like a matchup situation, you need somebody on Auburn's defensive front to step up and take advantage of this Oklahoma offensive line. And is it a freshman? Malik Blockton is a name that I can't get out of my brain this week. Philip Bleedy, the guy that they picked up via the transfer portal from Indiana. He had a really, really good game. Jason Jones had a good game this past week at defensive tackle. And then you already mentioned the edge guys, Jalen McLeod and Kieran Crawford. And then the best player on this team on defense, arguably, is Keldric Faulk, who, former 5-star second-year player. He's one of those defensive end / defensive tackles when they scoot him inside. So you need one of those guys to step up and make some plays. And if one or two of those guys do that, I really like Auburn's chances this weekend.
And we've gotten through this whole episode without talking about Jarquez Hunter. He's been special again this year. What's he doing that's making him so good, and how can Oklahoma defend him?
Yeah, considering the limited touches that he's gotten, he has been electric. No question, no question about it. I think that's one way to fix the turnover issues is you give him the football more, and you figure out more true run plays, and you kind of feature Jarquez Hunter, who is a special player, but he's kind of been limited because of the workload that he's been asked to carry. With a lot of these RPOs, if the read triggers them to throw the football, then, obviously Jarquez Hunter's probably not getting it. So to me, that is a big part of this. That's a good way to make some of these quarterbacks comfortable as you can establish the run. Jarquez Hunter, when he does get the ball, he has been great this year. Other than that one fumble against Cal, he's been exceptional.
Yeah, Jay, Oklahoma's going through the same situation with their RPO game right now, huh?
Yeah, 100%. We're going to scrap that. I hope we just go ahead and get rid of it and we just play some power football. That's what we got to do. Just go ahead and just wad it up, throw it away for now. And at some point, you could probably come back to it once you get more cohesion at the offensive line. It's tough when everybody's trying to figure out all the calls over and over and over again, right? Especially when they're being moved from position to position to position. So now that we're starting to see more snaps under everybody, the experience will get there. I think this line will be fine long term. But right now, it's the biggest problem has been the decisions of who you need to go block, right? It's all based upon inexperience. Whenever they're on point, we've seen beautiful, clean pockets. Quarterbacks got time. Heck, quarterbacks scramble and get some yards because they had 6 seconds before they needed to throw it. That's going to be what's most critical. So sitting there, grinding the film and understanding when you see this happen, you always go for the first guy in front of you. Don't be trying to wait for nobody else to come through. That's the running back's job.
Do y'all think it's fair to say the first to 20 wins on Saturday?
I
Is that
honestly
fair?
was thinking the first to 10.
I think it's going to be that low scoring.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a
back.
very yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I was thinking 17, but I thought that was too harsh. But clearly, y'all would have been okay with that too.
No, I mean, I think 20 is reasonable. I think,
yeah.
Last week I predicted, Tennessee, Oklahoma to be 23-20 OU. I felt like it was going to be a low scoring game. It turned out to be a lot of really due to Oklahoma's offensive inefficiencies.
Right.
But it's the same thing this week. You have two passing offenses that just aren't necessarily thriving right now. Oklahoma's run game has been non-existent since week 1. It's really going to come down to the defense. And I think Oklahoma needs to find a defensive or special team score in this game to give them a good shot at winning it, because the offense, listen, I like Michael Hawkins. I think he's a really, really good quarterback. I think he's got a chance to be something special because of his dual threat nature.
Yeah.
Going into Auburn, going into Jordan-Hare Stadium and asking him to carry the load for you is not a great recipe for success. When Oklahoma hasn't had a good run game, it's affected everything else in the offense. But if they can get him going early, if they can get him efficient early, get him some confidence built up, have a good drive to start the game, I think it can go a long way to helping Oklahoma's offense find some confidence.
Yeah.
The rest of the game. But so much of it is going to come down to the defensive side of the ball. Who produces the most turnovers? Who creates the most negative plays in the backfield? It's going to come down to that for Oklahoma especially.
Yeah, in a game where so few points are projected to be scored in this one, turnovers are so big, and they're always big in games. But in a game like this where points are going to be at a premium and field position could be at a premium, I just don't trust Auburn's offense right now. And until they show me a game or two where they can take care of the football, I think this is who they are right now. What you've done in these games against teams that are, in similar level of competition than you, Cal and Arkansas, that's who you are. That's who you are. And so right now, I expect Auburn to turn the football over against Oklahoma, whether that's Auburn shooting themselves in the foot or Oklahoma being opportunistic. It doesn't matter. It shows up the same in the box score, and it shows up the same in the stat sheet and on the scoreboard. I think Oklahoma wins this game because of one or two really bad turnovers that give Oklahoma good field position.
So that wide receiver room there at Auburn, when the ball actually comes out, it appears you've got some solid guys, man. Who's some of the key guys that we got to pay attention to? Because I already know about Cam Coleman.
Cam Coleman is special, the true freshman for sure. Keyandre Lambert-Smith, the Penn State transfer, has been the guy that's kind of been that's been scoring almost at will, and I think he had 150 plus yards in the game against Arkansas. A few big plays there. So Keyandre Lambert-Smith is a big one, no question about it. He is Auburn's wide receiver 1 right now.
Yeah, Oklahoma gave us some big plays last week against Tennessee. If they can limit some of those big plays and force them to play in the short to intermediate part of the field, I think that's going to favor the Sooners. Well, that's going to do it for this special Locked On crossover edition featuring Locked On Auburn's Zach Blackerby and myself, John Williams, and Jay Smith from Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in and making Locked On Auburn and Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Subscribe to the respective shows wherever you get your podcasts. And for your second listen, you got to go check out Locked On College Football. From NIL deals to never-ending conference realignment rumors, and everything going on in this crazy college football season, Spencer McLaughlin has you covered. Find Locked On College Football on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. But hey, until next time, we'll continue to break down this game. Go watch time when we get to meet again, at least in 2025. He's Zach Blackerby. I'm John Williams. He's Jay Smith.